What is Nisan? What month is that?
Aries, March, April. Ra. You see, Noah's Ark, in the Bible it says, and Noah's Ark rested on Mount Ararat on the 17th day of the 7th month. Because they start from Tishri over here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 17th day of the 7th month is Aries, Nisan 17. Jesus resurrects on Nisan 17. Noah's Ark lands on Mount Ararat, on the Ram, on Nisan 17. I'm rubbing it in. Israel, led by Moses, come out of Egypt on Nisan 17. Jacob takes his children down to Egypt on Nisan 17, 430 years prior. Esther saves the Jews with the help of Mordecai and established Purim on Nisan 17. They were saved on that day by the king's decree. The walls of Jericho fell down on Nisan 14, and what were they blowing for 7 days? The ram's horn. And on the 7th day, they were to go around 7 times blowing the ram's horn. And then once Jericho falls, they look for Rahab, the harlot who tied the scarlet thread, and they found Rahab. It's all about Ra, you see. And remember I said to you before about Israel marrying Rachel, or Rael as the Hebrews say. So you've got Israel who married Rael, and they had these children. Israel had 12 children, you see. And he had 2 wives and a few handmaids. That's the planets. You see, Leah is Mars. And you see, Rachel is Venus. And because Mars rules this part of the zodiac and goes right around to here. Well, Venus rules this part and goes right around to her exaltation in Pisces. So Mars and Venus are these very, very same characters that we find in our documents. But usually you'll find the Ra in there. And it's usually in the middle of a word. For instance, Abraham, Torah, Israel, Abraxas. That's a Jewish word, Abraxas. 7 letters, just like Abraham, with Ra in the middle. Uranus, here's one, Serapis. Again, always 7 letters, Ra in the middle. Sarah is Isis. Cerebrum, you've got Sarah Abram. Well, Sarah is Isis. And Apis is the bull. And Ra is the ram in the middle. You see, it's always Israel. El is the bull. So Serapis means the same thing. Look, and this wheel is the wheel that tells the story of theology. This is the theology because, and you can go to Hindu lands and you will find similar words all the time. For instance, the Brahmins are the highest caste. Well,
they're the head, absolutely.
Yeah, they're the head.
It goes like this: 10% head, Brahmins. Kshatriyas, warriors, administrators, is the shoulders and chest. Vaishyas are the merchants, and Sudras, the workers, the legs.
Exactly. Yep.
It's a Vedic.
Beautiful.
Point of origin.
It's absolutely beautiful. The Jews have a similar system. Hebrews, like eyebrow, highbrow, are the high Hebrews, the highest caste, next to the Jews. So that would equate to the arms. The Jews are below the Hebrews. Then is the Israelites, cast down in the belly in Egypt, because they are captive in Egypt. And then below that are the Christians. That's the Freemasonic system according to the Reverend Robert Taylor, who declared that in 1830. Went to jail twice for writing certain similar.
Oh, there was a number of priests back then
Yeah.
who were jailed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They get whacked. They get whacked. Even in our times, you know, if you say, hey, how about a little bit of peace, you get whacked, i.e. John Lennon. You can't suggest it. Syncretism is uniting. See, the churches don't want this.
Where does the word syncretism, how did that come about?
Most probably in the Renaissance time was the earliest known time that we have of the use of syncretism. And you had the likes of Marsilio Ficino, the translator of Plato and the Hermetica, who were using the word, and in particular Giovanni Pico della Mirandola. He's the guy who went down to Rome with his...
That's alright, we'll leave it for the moment.
Yep, the book's right there behind me somewhere, with his 900 theses, 30 years before Martin Luther, and his 90 theses. 30 years before, went down to Rome from Florence, to debate with the cardinals to bring syncretism to the world. That was, and then Giordano Bruno, who died in 1600, was killed for teaching the same stuff I'm teaching. He also was syncretic. But it was these people, the people of Serapis in Alexandria in Egypt. They were the first syncretists, the Ptolemaic final part of the last 30th dynasty of, you know, like 27, 28, 29, all those last dynasties, right up to the last dynasty before, you know, Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, and then everything, all the power shift went directly to Rome. But they were syncretic.
It's interesting to note, I was what's the best way to say it? I decided instead of just interviewing, I would give some presentations. And I mentioned to you that I come from a tradition, and our tradition is called parampara, which means disciplic succession from Krishna through Brahma, quite literally, into the material world through a person named Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the writer of all the Sanskrit Vedic literatures. He actually doesn't write, Ganesh writes it, he dictates it, although I don't like that word in the modern day. But if you listen carefully to even the word parampara, it's got the same situation twice.
Yeah. And this is because India and Egypt communicated extensively in a time when they loved each other. You know, they didn't have to fear each other because of division.
You know,
yeah.
I'll share
with the lower yugas, division came into the world, and suspect and fear and distrust. You know. So, but originally Egypt and India shared the same.
Well, in Sanskrit, the colour blue is Neela.
Yeah.
So when someone says the Blue Nile, they're repeating themselves. They're saying blue in English and then blue in Sanskrit.
Well, there you go.
And the original name of the Blue Nile is the Great Krishna River, because Krishna's called Neela Madhava or Neela Chela. He has a blue complexion.
Wow.